Dealers across America are sitting on metal they cannot move. Right now, in mid-2026, average inventory levels are blowing past 180 days on certain models. That means 6 months of supply just rotting on asphalt. According to recent CarEdge market data, tens of thousands of vehicles are stacked up nationwide with no buyers in sight. Floor plan interest is piling up. Incentives are climbing. And some of these badges are names you would never expect to see struggling like this. We're counting down 11 models dealers simply can't sell right now. Let's go from concerning to outright ugly. Number 11. Audi A3. The Audi A3 is sitting at roughly 189 days of market supply, with close to 2,000 units parked on dealer lots nationwide. Average transaction price? Around $43,000 to $45,000 depending on trim. Here's the problem. The A3 used to be Audi's entry ticket. It was the first luxury car for young professionals. Now it starts above $41,000 before options. By the time you add packages, you're brushing $50,000. At that price, buyers start cross-shopping BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, or even lightly used higher-tier models. The A3 isn't cheap enough to feel accessible, and it isn't prestigious enough to justify mid-40K money. It's stuck in the middle. Young buyers are priced out. Older buyers skip it for something larger. And sedans in general are losing traffic to crossovers, so it sits. And the next one isn't overpriced, it's underpowered. Number 10. Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. The Eclipse Cross is currently hovering around 178 days of inventory, with roughly 2,700 to 3,000 units sitting unsold across the country. Average transaction price? Just under $30,000. On paper, that sounds competitive. In reality, it's not. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder produces about 152 horsepower. In a compact SUV weighing over 3,400 pounds, that translates to sluggish acceleration. Owners consistently report weak highway merging and underwhelming throttle response. Fuel economy isn't class-leading either, hovering in the mid-20s combined when competitors are pushing high 30s and even 40 MPG hybrids. Then there's the bigger issue. Mitsubishi's shrinking dealer network. In some regions, buyers are driving 45 minutes to an hour for warranty service. That alone kills confidence. In a segment dominated by the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Mazda CX-5, the Eclipse Cross doesn't bring a compelling reason to choose it. So even at $30,000, buyers hesitate, and hesitation in this market equals inventory buildup. But the next vehicle isn't struggling because it's weak. It's struggling because nobody wants to spend 6 figures on it anymore. Number 9. BMW 8 Series. The BMW 8 Series is sitting at roughly 203 days of market supply, with nearly 1,900 units collecting dust nationwide. Average transaction price? Around $110,000 to $115,000. Sales dropped more than 30% year over year in recent quarters. This is BMW's flagship Grand Tourer. Twin-turbo V8 options. Massive screens. Carbon fiber trim. Everything you'd expect at 6 figures. But here's the reality. At $110,000 plus, buyers want something iconic. They want a Porsche 911. They want a Mercedes-AMG GT. They want something with a legacy. The 8 Series feels like a dressed-up 5 Series with a sharper roofline. It's expensive, but not emotionally essential. In a high-interest rate environment, luxury coups are the first thing buyers cut from the list. Financing a $110,000 Grand Tourer at current rates makes the monthly payment eye-watering. So the 8 Series waits, and when 6-figure cars start backing up, it's a warning sign. But the next vehicle is more dangerous, because it's supposed to be practical. Number 8. Chrysler Pacifica. The Chrysler Pacifica is currently sitting at roughly 194 days of inventory, with more than 16,000 units parked on dealer lots across America. Average transaction price? Around $45,000 to $47,000. This should be a slam dunk. Family minivan. Stow-and-go seating. Tons of interior space. Instead, it's facing a confidence problem. Transmission complaints have piled up, harsh shifts, hesitation, even failures under 20,000 miles in some owner reports. Replacement transmissions have reportedly been backordered in certain cases. Electrical glitches are another issue. Power sliding doors malfunctioning. Random warning lights. Hybrid versions experiencing software gremlins. When you're transporting kids, reliability fear spreads fast. Families are pivoting to the Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey, both carrying stronger long-term trust. So even with incentives, the Pacifica lingers. And as we move higher up this list, the inventory numbers get even harder to ignore. Number 7. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass is currently sitting at roughly 203 days of market supply, with over 27,000 units stacked up on dealer lots nationwide. Average transaction price? Around $32,000 to $33,000. That's not a small number. Here's the core issue: overproduction colliding with pricing overlap. At $32,000, the Compass is priced directly against better vehicles. A Mazda CX-5, a Honda CR-V, even base Toyota RAV4 trims, all offering stronger resale, better fuel economy, and more consistent reliability reputations. The Compass doesn't dominate in any category. It's not the most efficient, it's not the most refined, and it's not meaningfully cheaper. And here's the bigger problem. Jeep built too many of them. When you flood the pipeline with tens of thousands of units, even average demand can't absorb it. Dealers start discounting. Discounts hurt perceived value, and once buyers sense desperation, they wait. Compass isn't collapsing because it's catastrophic, it's collapsing because it's replaceable. And the next one is collapsing because it's scared buyers. Number 6. Hyundai Ioniq 5. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is sitting at around 190 days of market supply, with over 10,000 units parked unsold across the country. Average transaction price? Roughly $47,000 to $49,000 before incentives. Hyundai responded with aggressive price cuts, in some cases slashing prices by $7,500 to $10,000. And yet, inventory remains heavy. The reason? ICCU failures. The integrated charging control unit has been linked to multiple reports of sudden loss of power and charging system faults. When that module fails, the vehicle can become completely inoperable. Owners have reported long parts delays, weeks, sometimes months. That kind of story spreads quickly in the EV world. Even buyers who never experienced the issue see headlines and hesitate. And once hesitation creeps in, days of supply spike. Heavy discounting didn't fix it. Because this isn't just about price, it's about confidence, and the next vehicle proves even legacy icons aren't immune. Number 5. Ford Mustang. The Ford Mustang is currently hovering around 195 days of inventory, with more than 19,000 units idling at dealerships nationwide. Average transaction price? Around $48,000. That number alone explains half the story. 5 years ago, the Mustang was an attainable performance car. Entry V8 models felt accessible. Now, price increases of $15,000 to $20,000 across trims have pushed it into a different bracket entirely. At nearly $50,000, younger buyers are locked out. Then there's the identity shift. Physical buttons are disappearing. Traditional analog gauges replaced by large digital screens. The interior feels more like a tech product than a muscle car cockpit. Mustang buyers historically wanted raw and mechanical, not menu-driven. It's now the last American V8 muscle car standing, with the Camaro and Challenger discontinued. It should be dominating. Instead, it's recording some of its weakest sales years in recent memory. Because when a dream car becomes a luxury purchase, demand shrinks. And higher up this list, the supply problem gets even worse. Number 4. Kia Sorento. The Kia Sorento is sitting at roughly 178 days of market supply. But here's the number that matters more: over 35,000 units stacked up nationwide. That's not slow sales. That's a pipeline jam. Average transaction price sits around $39,000 to $41,000, depending on trim. And here's what's happening. The Sorento is getting cannibalized by its own family. Buyers walk into a Kia showroom and see 3 choices. Spend less and get a Sportage. Spend slightly more and get a Telluride. Or land awkwardly in the middle with the Sorento. Most skip the middle child. It doesn't dominate on space, it doesn't dominate on performance, and it doesn't dominate on value. And higher up this list, the problem shifts from overproduction to geopolitics. Number 3. Buick Envision. The Buick Envision is currently hovering around 217 days of market supply, with more than 8,000 units sitting unsold. Average transaction price? Around $40,000. The issue here isn't horsepower, it's geography. The Envision is built in China. And that matters in 2026. Combined import duties and tariff pressures have reportedly pushed effective cost burdens close to 40%, 47%, depending on classification and adjustments. That forces GM to raise pricing just to maintain margins. For 2026, base pricing climbed by roughly $4,000 to $5,000 in certain trims. That pushes the Envision into direct competition with Acura, Lexus entry crossovers, and high-trim Japanese rivals. Buick historically won on value luxury positioning. Now it's priced like a premium import without the brand pull. Tariff inflation plus soft brand identity equals hesitation. And hesitation stretches inventory days fast. But the next vehicle isn't about tariffs. It's about instability. Number 2. Jaguar F-Pace. The Jaguar F-Pace is sitting at approximately 292 days of market supply. That's nearly 10 months of inventory. Over 2,000 units remain parked on dealer lots with limited movement. Average transaction price? Around $58,000 to $65,000 depending on spec. Here's the core issue: brand uncertainty. Jaguar has publicly discussed restructuring, electrification pivots, and lineup changes. When buyers hear words like discontinuation and brand reset, confidence drops immediately. Luxury buyers prioritize long-term support and resale strength. When a brand narrative feels unstable, used market values get questioned before the ink on the contract dries. Then you layer in traditional Jaguar reliability stigma, fair or not, and buyers pause. And when buyers pause at $60,000 price points, inventory builds fast. 292 days isn't a small miscalculation. It's a confidence problem. And the vehicle at number 1, it's not about brand instability. It's about demand collapse. Number 1, Volkswagen ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.4 is currently sitting at over 500 days of market supply. Yes, more than 500 days. That means dealers could stop receiving shipments entirely and still have inventory stretching well into next year. This is a supply disaster. Thousands of units are aging on lots. Average transaction price? Roughly $42,000 to $45,000 depending on configuration. So what happened? EV demand cooled sharply in late 2025 and into 2026. High interest rates, charging infrastructure concerns, insurance cost spikes, and shifting federal incentive structures. But here's the deeper issue. When a vehicle sits this long, dealers incur floor plan interest every single month. EVs require periodic charging just to maintain battery health while sitting. That adds operational cost. As days climb past 300, then 400, then 500, buyer psychology shifts. Consumers start asking, if it's that good, why is nobody buying it? And once that question spreads, momentum dies completely. The ID.4 isn't necessarily a bad vehicle, but 500-plus days of supply tells you something brutally simple. The market moved, and inventory didn't. That's the full list. 11 models, 11 inventory headaches, and one clear pattern: when pricing, production, or perception gets misaligned with reality, the market responds instantly. If this breakdown gave you real insight, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Which one shocked you the most?